While Canon reported some weakening demand in some markets, the company said that they're overall solid. So where was the weakness? And what is Canon's bold prediction for 2025? I'll answer these questions in this video. But first, I have a rather simple and yet humble request. Please subscribe to this video. It doesn't cost you anything. It really does help this channel grow, but most importantly, it keeps you informed on the latest camera gear. Canon's profit and loss statement provides an immediate health check. Net sales is the total revenue reported by Canon minus discounts and returns. It's up from 4.2 billion yen in 2023 to 4.5 billion in 2024. That's a 7.9% increase, but it's the gross profit number that matters the most. It's how much money Canon makes after deducting the costs associated with producing and selling its products and services. Canon increased their gross profit by 8.8% over 2023, helped with a reduction in operating expenses down by 5.7%. Their printing division saw a 27% increase in operating profit on a 7.5% increase in sales, reversing a previous trend as more employees headed back to the office in 2024. But it's Canon's medical division that took the biggest hit. Net sales were up 2.7%, but it's the operating profit that took the biggest hit, down a whopping 22.1%. The imaging division, where we get our cameras such as the R6 Mark III, the R5 Mark II, and the R1, reported an increase of 8.8% in sales and an operating profit increase of 3.9%. And the industrial division saw a 17.6% increase in its operating profits, and that's on an increase of 13.3% in sales. Altogether, this resulted in a rather healthy corporate-wide 18.5% increase in operating profit on a 7.9% increase in sales. It's clear that Canon's in a very strong financial position, despite increased competition from Sony and Nikon. And that's why I wanted to start with those numbers. There's no doubt, looking at these financial numbers, whether you look at the profit statements, the income statement, things are looking very good, with the exception of that one division that, well, isn't doing nearly as well. And that's why I wanted to start this video with Canon's financial position based on 2024 and previous years. Canon, by and large, other than that one division, is doing very well, and corporate-wide they're increasing sales and net profit, and that's a very good thing. So now that we've got the financials out of the way, let's start talking about the elephants in the room. It's clear from your comments that the weakness isn't in the financials, nor is it in the high-end market. The 5 series is the strongest selling camera line, helping Canon report strong Q4 results, and there is an abundance of high-quality, high-priced optics. But the concern, expressed by many, is the weakness in the APS-C line, in the entry and mid-market. If we take a look at entry and mid-market APS-C cameras and entry-level full-frame cameras, it's pretty obvious that Sony's walking away with the numbers. They're doing very well, and one of the biggest reasons for that, they have a rather large, extensive inventory of E-mount lenses, not only Sony-produced lenses, but third-party lenses. Can we expect Sigma to announce more RF lenses, deliver popular full-frame lenses like the 24-70, 70-200mm, and their most popular lens ever, the 150-600mm, as well as an extensive offering of prime lenses? Canon projects a very aggressive and healthy 16.7% increase in operating profits for 2025. And their imaging division? Well, they're forecasting an 11.8% increase in operating profit on a 10.6% increase in sales. That's a big jump in 2024 that just saw a 3.9% increase in operating profit on an 8.8% increase in sales. Why would Canon forecast such a huge jump in operating profit and sales for 2025 when we got the big camera announcements in 2024? Or did we? And don't get me wrong, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II is a big camera. It's a big announcement, as is the R1. But I think Canon's bold prediction is based off of a redesign, a significant redesign of their APS-C lineup. And that's going to happen this year. And if Canon did rethink their APS-C lineup to be more competitive with Sony's lineup, their entry and mid-market APS-C cameras, well, then I think, yes, it would help get us to those bold predictions for 2025. But having really great camera bodies is only one part of it. And while Sony does have some great camera bodies, that's not the main reason why people are buying the ZV-E10, the Mark I, the Mark II, the A7C, and wide variety of Sony cameras that are all based off of the Sony a7S III that's trickled down over the years. We have a huge lineup of cameras. I think it has to do more with the vast inventory of E-mount lenses, whether it's made by them or third-party manufacturers. You can see a lot of options. And even for those people that have no intention of buying any other lens than the kit lens that comes with a camera, when they look at their purchase, they think, you know, someday I could grow into those lenses. And they're not going to cost you a fortune. But it's not just APS-C as well. There's a little bit of a weakness in Canon's full frame lineup. Not the R5, not the R6, not the R1 or the R3 per se, but the entry-level area such as the R8. And I do believe that sales are a leading indicator of any announcement. The R50 is $50 off, the R7 $100 off, along with the Canon EOS R10. And while these sales might seem tame compared to last year, the only full-frame cameras that we currently see on sale by Canon are ones expected to be refreshed in the first half of 2025. The R5 is no longer on sale, nor is the R8. Only Canon APS-C cameras are on sale. Perhaps something big is going to happen in 2025 because after all, to get those bold predictions of a huge increase in operating profit and sales, they've got to have something up their sleeve. They've got to know something that we don't. And I think a complete redesign of the APS-C lineup makes sense. I mean, the R7, the R10, and a lot of the APS-C cameras are anywhere from 2 to 4 years old. And entry-level full-frame cameras? Well, we know the R6 is getting ready for a refresh. The R8, well, it could probably do with a bit of a refresh as well, but the focus right now is what we can expect to see with APS-C lenses. No one's questioning if Canon's in a strong position today. Canon continues to show strength in their return on investment. But Sony is number one in mirrorless. And with DSLR sales continuing their decline, Canon needs to rethink their strategy for the mid and entry-level market segments, both APS-C and full frame. For most of us, the camera brand that we start with is also the camera brand that we stay with. You see, if Canon didn't have a very good solid APS-C offering going back, 15, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have the R5 Mark II today. And there's many reasons for that. For many of us who aren't independently wealthy, once we start with a camera body, we start to buy lenses. And as you can see from behind me, more and more lenses. And then as we start to upgrade to our cameras, we look at that lens inventory and we think, I can leverage what I've got there. And then we start to migrate away from these lenses, which I haven't touched in a long time, to more expensive lenses. Now, some of us don't. We stay where we are. We stay with that single APS-C lens. But to be able to attract people, to the brand, if you have a weak offering in APS-C, entry-level, mid-market, or even the high-end market, well, then what happens is you don't have this. Are you going to start off with this? Maybe not, because if you're not going to start with that Canon entry-level camera, well, then maybe you start with a Sony. And if you start off with Sony, chances are you're probably going to stay with Sony. And I know what you're thinking. There are people who switch brands all the time. Yes, there are. And these people make the most noise. But the vast majority of people that shoot with the same camera brand. And if they want to try out something different, they rent it. Canon needs to deliver affordable APS-C camera bodies that excite new customers. But the RF mount needs to offer a large selection of zooms and primes that cost under $1,000. It's no good having great camera bodies from the entry-level market to the mid-market to the high-end market, but then having lenses that are either too cheap or too expensive. I think this is a too a two-pronged strategy that Canon needs to work on. Now, in 2024, Canon did approve Sigma and Tamron to make lenses. Sigma announced 5 lenses, and they've all shipped now. And Sigma says that they're doing very well. We're coming up to CP Plus in just, well, about 4 weeks now. I'd be really surprised if Sigma doesn't make an announcement then for new RF lenses, and by April at the very latest. The only question is, are we going to see some of their primes, some of their zooms, ranging from $300 up to $1,200? That's what I'm looking to see. And I do want to ask you one thing, though, as we get to the end of this video. If you are interested in purchasing any camera gear, lenses, accessories, whether it's Sony, Canon, Nikon, or even Pentax, then please consider using my affiliate links down below for what is it? I have at Amazon, B&H, and Adorama. Because by using those links, literally what you're doing is you're helping keep the lights on. You're keeping this channel going. This is viewer funded. And what you'll notice is right at the beginning of this video, I didn't have a sponsorship ad. And I'm being asked all the time to do sponsorship ads, and I have no interest in putting a 30-second video ad, let alone a 3 to 5 minute video ad at the beginning of this video. I think it takes away from the content of what I'm trying to do. I try to keep each video somewhere between 8 to 12 minutes. And to stick in an ad when you're already watching other ads, I think it's just wrong. So by using my affiliate link, and thanks to everybody that has, it means I don't have to do that. And I don't want to have to do that. So a big thanks to everybody. And I want to wish you a very happy New Year. It's Chinese New Year. I think we actually just had it. It's the Year of the Snake. So if you're celebrating Chinese New Year, well, gong hei fa choi. And if you're not Chinese, well, you know what? If you got a Chinatown close by, check out their food because they've got some really tasty food. I eat a lot of Chinese food myself. My wife happens to be Chinese, and so I get to enjoy their cuisine an awful lot, and it's absolutely delicious. But on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, a great night, a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon. I'm working on some review videos right now. They're supposed to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. Some exciting stuff is coming to the marketplace. Anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.